I don't know where my package is. It just makes me feel so much better now. I'm not stressed. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you are. Hope everybody's doing okay. Today's video is gonna be another create with me. I'm gonna show y'all my little doodling session, I want to call it. Oh my god, doodling session. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some Zentangle today because I don't have anything else to do, and I'm actually freaking losing light right now. First, I need a cup of matcha because the green good stuff is the good stuff. While I get my matcha all mixed up, I have something I really wanted to show you. Remember this? I'm going to my block printing class, and this is the design that I'm working on. In my first Create With Me video, I took you guys along with me to class, and I showed you guys my block printing process. Right here, I was carving out the linoleum, and then I put paper on top of it. Actually, I inked it first, and then I put paper on top of it, and then I pressed it through the machine, and the results were awesome. I made a warm series. I'm going to call it warm and cool series. These two are my favorite from the warm series. This was actually a cool mistake. Then I made blue ones, and I made this blue one and Zentangled over it. I also mounted a blue one, and it wound up in the hall display. I was so happy about that. And I also got a little purple and gold in there. And back to the matcha. Now that I've got my matcha, it's time to go sit down. You guys, I'm so pissed right now.
I'm so freaking pissed.
And I really need the Zentangle because guess what? I drank all my matcha one. All my matcha's gone. I literally devoured it. Number two, I checked my email and today I was supposed to have the package. And they tell me that my package has been delivered since 1:50 p.m. I was in my house at 1:50. I didn't hear a knock at my door. And I don't see a package outside. I don't know where my package is. And today is Sunday, so I can't even freaking call anyone to ask them, hello, where's my package? Oh, I'm so frustrated. So right now, Zentangle is definitely the move. I'm gonna be drawing Zentangle in real time, and hopefully this can actually calm me down because I'm kind of like very pissed. I'm very pissed. This is future me, by the way, but yeah, I got that package. But I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna be drawing and also doing some other talking about topics that I feel that are truly important for art. Sorry if you are not an artist and you cannot relate. Oh dang, I charged my tablet and it's already on 22%. Great. I'm gonna draw until this thing dies, and if it dies during the video, you guys, I'm gonna film it tomorrow. This is real time, real me, real key in my creative life. First, let me check and make sure the camera angle was good. Okay, so the camera angle was good, and also I put this little tag on this blanket behind it because it was kind of bothering me when I checked. Honestly, it took me a while to figure out what I would draw with you guys because I plan my videos sometime in advance. I'm like, okay, this week I'm gonna do this week I'm gonna do that. And I know that for this week I wanted to do a draw with me video, but I could not figure out what to draw. I'm gonna be really real about it. I am an artist, and yes, I doodle sometimes, but right now my inspiration is kind of like running low because I've been in the house all the time. Usually I'll be able to go to the museum or something and do other things, but I'm just stuck here with limited resources of inspiration and creativities. And if you guys hear my loud neighbors, I am so sorry. They are very loud. They're really loud. They might need some Zentangle too. I think it's going around in the air. So screen is recording. Oh, okay, now here we go. We really need a pen that symbolizes relaxation at this very moment because anger. Anger is a real emotion that every human being feels, but we don't have to always lash out with it. We can always channel it into something productive. So I'm gonna choose, do I want studio pen or syrup? I'm gonna use syrup. So what's great about this is that I'm using Procreate. I didn't have to waste any of my precious materials for this. The tablet just makes everything so much easier. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna zoom out so that you guys can see all parts of my Zentangle drawing. And really, I'm just going with the flow with this one. I'm gonna start off with, what color should I use? This is a really, really great question. I have a couple of palettes here, and I'm thinking of doing something with the Flourish palette. Let's just, okay, no, I don't, what was I doing? Let's use this nice blue color because blue is very calming and tranquil, and I'm just gonna add another layer. I love using Procreate for this reason. I have many layers, so if I mess up on one, I can always go on another one. You know what? I want something that kind of resembles Starry Night, so I'm gonna start by drawing like this large waveform and dissecting this plane into, and by plane I mean this little white rectangle, into different sections so that I can get my Zentangle started. And one thing that I love to do with my Zentangle is vary each line width. So I always make one like smaller than the other one because it makes it interesting to look at. I don't want to get into all the technical stuff about drawing. This is a really chill video, so I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. Of course, I always say stuff like that and then I wind up doing the exact opposite, but I'm going to try to keep it like layman's terms, simple to understand. One thing that I wanted to talk about today was the idea of having a style of art. That's something that I really struggled with when I first started out in art school. I was always thinking about developing a style, and I would also see my friends thinking about, oh, what's my style? What kind of art should I do? And I think that kind of takes away from the true expression of art that art really is. And that's just interesting to me to see that even in art, someplace where you're supposed to be free to express, people always feel like they kind of have to fit in somewhere. I never expected to witness people wanting to fit in, but at the same time, I was experiencing that myself. Okay, should I create this kind of art? Should I create that kind of art? What kind of art should I create? And I think a big part of that, a major part of that, comes from the idea of mainstream media artists. I go on Instagram and I find a lot of commercial artists. I'm gonna call them commercial artists for lack of better terms. And they always seem to have a consistent style, you know? And there's nothing wrong with having that, but I see that all the time. There's some form of marketing within art that makes people box themselves in to fit into a niche kind of art. Art is literally, you get that inspiration, you create on a whim. I'm erasing that line because it was really wiggly. I think art is just expression. It shouldn't be, I need to create something that looks like it's marketable. Unless you're in a certain career field, you shouldn't worry about what kind of art you create. But it's hard to think that way when all of the time we're being saturated with images of others. Especially with Instagram. Instagram has become a place where you see one type of art popularized and then you see another type of art and it's just like, oh, well, it's not that great. So then there's that whole debate of talent versus non-talent, all of that extra stuff that goes on in the artist realm, but it will make you feel like you need to have a style. I don't believe that style is a thing. I don't think that people need to only create one type of art. Like if you draw mermaid art, for instance, you don't only have to draw mermaid art. You can do abstract, you can do expressionism, you can do pointillism, you can do all kinds of different arts. But you rarely see that because everybody likes to play it safe and they want to seem consistent, and that's great and all, but it's boring. I get tired of seeing the same style of illustrations. And I think y'all know what I'm talking about. You can see that it looks just like another artist and no one says anything about it. They just like all of it. I'm not against that. I'm not hating on people for liking a certain style of art, but dang, like that's not the only kind of art that exists. I had a battle with that myself. Like, oh, well, maybe my art's not good enough. Maybe I should stop creating my abstract art. Maybe I should just, you know, draw some kind of realistic stuff and do figurative drawing of people and representing my heritage and history and all of this stuff. But it just didn't sit right with me. I'm definitely one of those people that are more philosophical, and sometimes I feel like it's a bad thing because not a lot of people that I'm around care about philosophy or deep thinking and theories. And I sometimes feel ostracized because of that, but art is the one place where I felt okay being like that. So a lot of my art is very conceptual, and I do a lot of research on my own time, and I have been doing that since I was able to research on Google. You know, it was just very interesting because in my head, all artists are like this. All artists do this kind of like deep thinking, I'm creating this concept, but not all artists are like that. Some people just like to create from different places. There's nothing wrong with that kind of expression or different kinds of expression. What I don't like is when art becomes media washed in a way, if that ever makes sense to you. Like, this kind of art is being pushed to the forefront so much so that everybody else feels invalidated because you only see this kind of illustration. Like, I feel like we should appreciate all kinds of art. Guys, this is something that is very near and dear to me. I do feel like sometimes I battle with the idea that maybe my art isn't going to be well received for everybody, but people will appreciate what they appreciate anyway, and that's out of your control as an artist. You literally just create something and you just let it be. And that's the releasing, relaxing part of creation. Of course, we're humans. We can't ignore the stuff that we see going on, but I really, really, really do have a stance against sticking to one style. I don't like boxing people in, and I don't box myself in. So you can make whatever you want and people will still love you for it. I actually love seeing the different styles of art that people can create, just them themselves. Like, each individual is capable of creating so many different styles. I see art as being something that's just more than surface level, you know? It's not something that's entirely commercialized. It's not something that can be robotic, you know? Well, I've seen programs that actually do have robots creating art. But you know, we're not all robots. We're not always expected to do the same thing over and over. Some people have even told me you're all over the place. Like, my art is random, and it has made me feel bad. I'm like, okay, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Because I didn't really think that it was a bad thing. I just like to make different kinds of series. So when you go to my Etsy shop, you'll see that I have so much different art. I have like collages that are surrealistic. I have abstract art that is painted art and it's based on nature. Like, I don't see myself in one way, so I don't create in one way. I create so many different ways, and I feel like that's opened my doors of expression. And I encourage everybody to express themselves in many ways. You don't have to just draw. You don't have to just paint. We have artists that are multi-talented, that they can do performance art, they can do graphic design, they can paint. Express all of that. Explore all of these different realms. Don't let a style be the goal, because styles are pretty boring. It literally constrains you to creating one type of thing. Imagine if in this lifestyle you were forced to have one hairstyle. Boring. B-O-R-I-N-G. Boring. What if you could only wear one type of uniform? That's not desirable at all. You wouldn't want to do that. Life would be pretty bland. Think about your art in that way. If you are an artist watching this, definitely go for it. There's no pressure on you to fit into a box and to be like anyone else. It's literally art. Express yourself, do whatever styles you want to do, and people will love you for you. There's no reason to just be like anyone else. I love creation. Music is art to me. Dancing is art to me. There's no one thing that can't be art. Directing movies is an art form. Everything is art to me. Right now, I'm like drawing this pattern, and I don't know what the heck this pattern is right now, but it's gonna be a pattern. If you guys notice, I actually do some of my designs on my clothes like this, just random Zentangles. But you guys, like, in life, whatever you do, just express who you are. There's been times where I was in school and I was really goofy. Like, I'm a really freaking goofy person, and people would comment on it and they'll be like, oh, you're too goofy, and I'd be like, well, screw you. Literally, I would walk through the hallway smiling, and then people would be like, you smile too much, what are you smiling for? Like, I'm just happy. Is there something wrong with being happy? People will literally try to tell you how to live your life and be you. You can't do that to yourself. You can't let people control you and tell you to do what they want you to do. Like, who's telling you not to be happy? Sheesh. Like, who does that? I would never see somebody smiling and then tell them, why are you smiling so much? As if it was a problem. I am so sorry that my smile offended you. I experienced that a lot, and you know, I just didn't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it because I've never been that kind of person. Me and my friends were always the kind of people who just laughed and joked around, and were super expressive. And your people will find you. Your vibe literally attracts your tribe. I'm just drawing little circles into this little, I don't know what to call this, a noodle. I'm gonna call it a noodle for lack of a better description. Now, if you're one of those people who are very, very specific about what they like to draw, and you like to kind of plan out your drawings and you want it to look nice as if you're going to make a print of it, you could definitely just Google some Zentangle patterns and you'll find a lot of different patterns there. But I love doing abstract work, and that always requires me to just go with it, you know, and just do what it do. And what it do is what it does. When I first started making art, I never expected to be an abstract artist. It literally just happened. I was in this class for interior design, and that's the first time where I was required to complete pieces, and that's what started my love for art. But in that class, we had to make like this abstract diagram of our journey from our campus to the art building. And at first, I didn't know what the heck abstract was. So I winged it. I made little symbols, and I thought it was brilliant. I'm like, man, this is a great abstract map. I got up there, I presented it, everybody was like laughing because they got the joke. They knew what I meant when I when I symbolized the door with the recycling bin and the smiley faces. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we know that one. We know that one. So I'm thinking it's all good. Yeah, I did great. Professor thought otherwise. He's like, that's not abstract. And I'm like, well, what do you mean it's not abstract? And he's like, well, you could have just done something like circles and triangles. And I'm like, that's abstract? That's art? In my head, when I picture art at that moment, I pictured art as just being like Leonardo da Vinci and, you know, Starry Night, all of these great masters with beautiful artworks and very technically pristine pieces. That's what comes to mind. Abstract art and anything that was like non-representational and objective art, that was just scribbles and scrabbles to me. But at that time, I didn't realize that that could be just as artsy as a Leonardo da Vinci can, as a Titian can, you know? So that changed my world. It rocked my freaking world. And I started to create more abstract ideas. I started doing more Zentangles and just random drawings, and I felt like my inspiration had become more magnified at that point with abstract art. Anytime I sat down and like recreated a portrait or recreated a magazine cover or recreated cartoons even, you know, it was fun and all, but it's like, oh, well, I didn't draw that from imagination. I'm just copying it from, you know, from what I see. And that's a great part of developing a skill, but while it's a good part of developing a skill, it's not that fun to do all the time. So drawing from life is necessary, but it's not as fun as drawing from nowhere. Drawing from nowhere is actually a challenge, but it does gear up your imagination. Gear up your imagination. Gear it up. Gear it up. just makes me feel so much better. Now I'm not stressed about my package. Yeah. Not stressed about my package anymore. Zentangle actually freaking works. Whew. Namaste. We are all calm and feeling nice and zen right now. And I just gotta ask y'all to do me a couple of favors. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're feeling really inspired, turn those post notifications on so you can see what I do next week. We gotta see if I'm gonna get that package, but we're not gonna stress about it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in next week's video. Peace out. Peace out.